So, as I'm sure a lot of people already guessed, the nation, well, it's also in the title, the nation we're going to be playing today will be the Dutch East Indies and also Insuldindia. I hope the audio is okay and the funky camera angles didn't make anyone sick. If you want to know how to do it, it's pretty easy. Just hook up an Xbox 360 controller. You can do very weird things. Just don't go too insane. I'll talk more about what you can do when I come across the nations. We'll start as the Dutch East Indies, since, well, that's how it starts. I've done a little setup already, so we don't have to do everything. I might have to load that. Save. Anyway, let's reset the camera angle. Go to the proper tag. And start. So, this nation has been reworked by Tomahawk. He has added quite a bit of new content. The only reason I played Brazil is because when you zoom, when you set your nation as the Dutch East Indies, the counters will still show up. So it would be pretty clear. So we're just gonna. Oh, my spacebar's not working. Okay, that's really annoying. Alright, I blame the game. So we're just gonna hop right into it. Well, Wells of Ghosts will go over what the Dutch East Indies have going for them. So they start as a puppet now, no longer as a part of India. I'll read that in a bit. So you start with the idea colonial government, recruitable population factor minus 90%. So you're not getting much men. We get a whole 173 per month. You also start with the independence movement mechanic, which is you have two counters here: independence movement unity and independence movement strength. The autonomy slider actually worked now. No comment. So the way this works is that if your strength is high enough, the Insuldindia revolt will happen, just like it did in real life in 1945. And the way it rises up is via events. And if your unity is higher, strength events will fire more often. You need to control Sumatra and Java for the event to be able to fire. So if you're at war and you're being invaded, it doesn't really work. But otherwise, you'll get an event, and you can choose to play as the Insuldindia nation, or you can choose to continue playing as the Dutch East Indie and start the police actions. Just, 10 years or so too early. The Indies in 1936. Barring the Syndicalist revolt in 1925, the crown jewel of the Dutch Empire has become a beacon of stability, taking advantage of Dutch ascension into Middle Europe to sell its goods, sugar, coffee, oil, to the newly opened markets. In spite of competition, too many events. They're now properly set up and rebuild German competition. The economic growth managed to keep up and civility nothing will come to ruin that economic progress, right? Despite this, Dutch authorities suppress any call for independence, with the Dutch government believing they will not be able to survive without de Oost. But despite that, the movement grows. Many in the colonial administration fear that if economic hardship were to appear, events like 1925 might repeat, or worse. Well, that seems miles away. So you'll have a few exploration events too, where they go out and go out into the wilderness and try and find new resources or other things. Having departed the 15th October. But you can read these on your own. There's quite a lot of flavor events that Tomahawk has added, and it's quite nice to read them all. They go about discoveries that were also made in OTL. Yeah, the flag is based off another one. It is the a double Dutch flag with a sword in a laurel. Oh yeah, we can trade with. Interestingly, we can trade directly with the Germans because we have one little province here that borders them. Oh no, Black Monday. Who would have expected that? So yeah, during the game you'll get events relating to the Unity, where you can have decisions like, do you want the strength to grow, or you can choose either grow the strength and do nothing, or lower the strength and pay some BP. Yeah, so Tomahawk is in chat right now. He's the dev of this nation. If you have any questions for me, just tag me with my name, and then it'll show up in red. The RSAP representative calls for independence. A socialist member of the Metropolitan Dutch House of Representatives has openly called for the action of Dutch rule in Insuldindia, and unsurprisingly, the news entered the Indies within hours. Many nationalists feel emboldened by the sign of growing support for the Insulindian cause in the mainland Netherlands, and they will likely win new members in this move too. A letter thanking the good Balanda has already been circulating. So here you can see the events you get. The strength of the independence move grows slightly. The unity of the independence move grows slightly. Would hardly call it syndicalist Dutch. And well, gee, what a surprise that the Black Monday hits the Insulindia. We get production efficiency, factory output, you know, the standard shebang. Is the island by Singapore still spread out over 2 sea tiles? Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. This island here is this. So it's really annoying to evade this, because say you want to do a naval invasion from here to there, you have to go like this, because the port is here, but the actual victory point is over here. It's a bit wonky. Will the Indochina revolt have any effect on this? I don't think it has right now. So we'll see how the rest of the world progresses, and I'll keep an eye on the revolts, because the earliest you can trigger the revolt is usually about 37, 38, kind of depending on your what you choose. Now the interesting thing about this is that you can choose what to do, because the way that Insulindia spawns is that it takes over your tech, but not your units, of course, because they're all Dutch loyalists. So what you can do is you can focus ahead of time on, for example, I'll go over the tree in a second, on, for example, infrastructure, rubber, oil, buildings, etc. So as to give you bonuses you can use later when you'll have another tree. I'll go over the tree in a second here, but this is another event that can happen a few times. The nationalist group can infiltrate. And one of the agents of our National Security Service, the PID, has managed to infiltrate a group advocating for Insulindian independence. We can use this as asset to either sabotage their effort or sow discord among their ranks, which could have impact collaboration with other groups across the land. What should we do? We can either shrink the unity or shrink the strength. This stupid is a bit bugged right now. It's fixed in the current build, but I forgot to pull right before I started this stream. So it's better to shrink the strength, because you get more of them with low unity. Sign a white peace if Japan fails to invade the East Indies. How do you mean? Japan can still attack the East Indies, and you'll just be You'll just be in a war against Japan, and the revolt most likely won't trigger, since you'll lose some of the islands. You need to keep a hold over Java and Sumatra for the revolt to even fire. So, the tree. Well, of course you have your Black Monday part. You have 2 main prongs and a small one. Either one can lead to this one. It's better to do this one first, because it's only 4 folks instead of 5, but this one gives better bonuses. So, rice imports, more division organization, stability, trade deal opinion, which is better because you get more trade, and because you have a shit ton of rubber, that's really good. You get a bit of convoy, since, well, you don't really have a navy. You get a bit of naval base in Batavia, you get escort efficiency, BP. Here you get construction effort, rubber, oil, civies, infrastructure, and then you lose the Black Monday spirit. Will the Netherlands declare war on Indonesia if the revolution succeeds? So when it triggers, the Netherlands immediately start helping out, of course, the Dutch East Indies, but they don't do much, and it should be able to... well, the way the war works is a bit weird. I'll show it off when it triggers, but the Dutch immediately get pulled in. And then once you're done, you get research bonus for industry, civi, mill, and a research law. Then you have 3 military trees. The review the KNIL, which is the Koninklijk Nederlands Indonesisch Leger, which means Royal Dutch Indonesian Army. And you can choose between modifying the colonial government, which has minus 90% recruitable population factor, for more army, or you can go for the army of Totoks, and you actually get 2 well-trained infantry divisions if a revolt happens. So if you want to play as Insuldindia, don't do this. If you do if you want to stay as the Dutch East Indies, do this. And then you get doctrines, jungle training. Well, there is quite a bit of jungle there. Marine technology, infantry equipment, and the last one is fortifying Java, which is another one. Do this if you want to play as the Dutch East Indies. Really don't do this otherwise. The other one is the Dutch tree. You get a bit of fighters, get a bit of bomber bonuses or fighter bomber bonuses, air bases, a military base, because Fokker is a Dutch European plane producer. It's pretty big around World War I, and they'll get a base here. Will the focus times be decreased? Not really. There aren't. There isn't a huge amount, and not everything is accessible from the start. So, the Dutch East Indies get the Dutch fleet. Well, that makes sense because the army is all Dutchmen, so that mostly goes. So there's a bit of cheese you can pull off there that I'll show off a bit later, and then you have air troop, naval bombers. Because the Dutch East Indian Navy is pretty good. Because the Dutch Navy in Keiserreich is pretty strong. You start with 2 carriers, I think, or 1. And you have Navy, which is pretty important. Submarines, light cruisers, relatively standard. And then you have a small political part. Where Bonificius the Jonge resigns after, I think July 37. And you get one of 3 paths. For example, you usually get this one. For example, you can make the strength of the independence shrink by quite a bit if you want to expand the Papua camps. And you can shrink the strength and the unity there to basically put the revolt down. Okay, Wilhelmina rule absolutely in East Indies if Netherlands fall in Europe. You'll see. I have a few backup saves if the interesting stuff doesn't happen, but I have said in the Kaiser chat I'll be showing off 3 trees today, and this is only one of them. And basically this one goes for more, well, East Indian apartheid. I think you can guess what happens there. It basically says East Indians, you're worthless, the Dutch rule, and this is more the other way around. So you go to more unity. So these 2 paths will lower the chance of a revolt, but this one will raise it quite a bit. But until then, we'll just unpause and go on. Now, I'll be focusing on getting the revolt to trigger here just to show it off, but you can easily not do that. But it's way more interesting to, of course, trigger that, have a small war. Unfortunately, if Where's direct rule from Wilhelmina? You'll see later. If the Japanese attack, you'll have a pretty rough time. There's a reason why I have all these on this garrison command, because these are the two crucial ones. There's very little victory points on these islands, but these hold the main bulk of your resources. So make sure to keep those. Now, if the Dutch go into the Rijkspact, which can happen, where your overlord goes into a faction, playing as Insuldindia is really tough. It actually happened in one of my test games, and it basically makes it unwinnable because you'll get navally invaded from everywhere. Is it possible to seize Portuguese timber? There are a few decisions that I will show once we play as when you win as Insuldindia, where I have you can just cheat that if you want to, where you can try and take Timor. You can try to purchase the Australasian bits, and there's a few other options. The Burma resources are worth it, sure, but they're not. There's a lot of rubber, but there's no victory points there. Very little of them. Right, so another one. Nationalists have taken to the street what was supposed to be a peaceful demonstration quickly turned violent as our police wanted to disperse them. We don't know if the violence will expand, and the chief of police wonders how we want him to respond to these events. So you can go for crack down, so the unity will grow, the strength will lower. We can shrink the strength. Again, this tooltip is actually fixed, and you can let the strength grow. And there we go, we have an event that the strength grows, and that signals that we have a little bit of a new icon. So the strength can spawn from medium, and the chances will get higher until it's at very high. And very high strength will basically mean that it'll trigger within 2 months if you occupy everything. Alright, let's just carry on with the industry bits here. Now, research-wise, you don't really have a big industry, so focusing on pure infantry is only the only thing really you can really do until you're at Insuldindia, because right now you mostly need men to beat off the Indians if they rise up. Is there some interesting dynamic with the Dutch East Indies and German East Asia? I don't think right now. You could ask Tomahawk if there's plans for that, but to the best of my knowledge, no. No double entendres here, people. No double entendres. Also, I think people noticed. No, never mind. I was trying to say that this is also new, but I think that's already in the public build. The icon there. Oh yeah, maybe I should get one of these guys. Yeah, let's promote you, Simon Spoor. So the first bit of this campaign will be a bit of waiting around, but it shouldn't take too long for them to rise up. And there we go. We have the Volksraad passes the Sutardio petition. The Volksraad, the largely powerless parliament of our colony, has passed a petition of, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, calling for a conference to speak about the future of the Dutch East Indies, especially in terms of promoting it to an equal status within the kingdom. With it being passed, it is now the task of the Governor-General to send it home. The Volksraad is merely the advisory legislature, however, and the Dutch and Indian population are concerned about the implications, so we could simply veto the whole deal. So, direct rule from Sumatra will veto it, and we'll get a nice growing unity. And we're at medium. Oh no, the unity went up, but the strength is still at low. Is there any special focus for the East Indies Insuldindia? No, there isn't, as far as I know. What happens if the Netherlands goes syndicalist? If the Netherlands goes syndicalist, what will happen? I'll show off later. We'll see any balance to the Arab Civil War and to see Jabal Shamar. I'm not sure what the balance indication is there. I'm not a dev of that area, and I think it doesn't really matter AI-wise because it's fine if one nation wins more often if it's supposed to. But you could ask the dev of that. I think it's the Black Wins. So, very applicable because the World Championship is going on. The NIVU, the Nederlands-Indische Voetbalunie, the Dutch East Indian Football Union, has been founded today as the official organization concerning organized football in the Dutch East Indies. Previously, the government worked directly with the native PSSI, but since the sport has grown in popularity, it's important that a fair amount of Totoks and Chinese will take part in the colonial team, something the new NIVU will make sure, as well creating a more secure environment about it. And this is actually pretty funny, because OTL, in the World Championships, I think 1938, 2 Dutch teams participated, a proper Dutch one from the European lands and one from the Dutch East Indies. Both lost a bit, just a large bit. We'll maybe see later. And well, we don't care about police crackdowns. We don't want that. Oh, more rubber's always good. Isn't that their army? The problem with Nash always wins is that the army triples it. Sorry. Yeah, it's a bit of a fight of cripples there because you're both at very low strength. We have the Siamese Civil War. Good. And so the interaction you mostly have with Germany's Asia right now is if the Dutch enter the Reichspakt. They will call in all of Germany when you declare independence. So the only thing that really happens is it makes your war unwinnable, because they can take over a few provinces and then invade. A locally well-known no, this is a different one. A locally well-known nationalist has held a rousing speech in favor of Insuldindia independence, and as calls heated, many seem to be attracted by the words of this man, and as a result, the ranks of the underground movement are growing. Local administrators suggest we shut him down, and while such action would certainly lower the strength, it could result in greater unity. So if we let him talk, we want the strength to grow right now. The Siamese Civil War is still using D01. D01 is just standard tags for revolts. It's not that bad. Do any random international events impact the independence movement anyway? It really depends, because a pure foreign nation can send support. So we had this one before. With growing unity. You get a few volunteers as the Insulindians from Japan and the Bariata commune, but it's the reason why this went so wrong is because mostly the Dutch East Indian government tried to do it themselves, and that went very wrong. In OTL, for example, the British first helped, and then saw that the Dutch were doing quite bad things, so they switched sides and started helping out the Indonesians. That's a possibility, but you would have to ask the Tomahawk, the dev, because I think right now it isn't in there. Insulindia can go Sindhi and Indochina can win joint Sintra Southeast Asia. So when the Insulindians rise up, if you're losing, two things can happen. There can either be a coup by the Darul Islam, or there can be a coup by the sultans, and both will give you different government types. But that only happens if you're losing. If you play as the Insulindians, you should win, because you can cheese it very hard, unless you of course want to lose between quotation mark. And then have those event triggers. Thoma can probably say it better, but I think yes, but you need to have you need to lose and let a coup happen. Or there are elections in the Insulindia tree, but I don't remember exactly what the options are in there. So there's another expedition. The 3 brave explorers, Anton Colijn, Jean-Jacques Dozy, and Frits Wissel, have left the city of Ica today to undertake an expedition, hoping to reach the peak of the highest mountain of the Karstens mountain range in Dutch New Guinea, which many other explorers tried to reach to no avail about the turn of the century. It has remained to be seen if the feat will be accomplished. So there's a good amount of flavor events, and I mean, it makes sense because it's been made by a Dutch guy, and we are just so amazing at making countries. I mean, it's not like the Dutch, the Dutch focus tree has been totally overwanked. Can you open? Thank you. You get any special units? You can get a few helping units, but I don't think so. So yeah, it's actually pretty nice to play because you can choose a bit which research you want to do. Like, what do I want the Insulindians to have this if they rise up? It's gonna have division for colonial native units. I'm not sure if a template gets added if you do this. I don't think so. The nationalists fight each other. That the nationalists and the syndicalists didn't really like each other was clear before. It needs a space there. But now guerrillas of both sides have started fighting each other in the countryside. The KNLI stands ready to intervene. But some people say it would perhaps be better to let them weaken each other while we sit back and relax, as both will thin out their numbers to make them less likely. So we can either play political power and make the unity and the strength shrink, or we can do nothing and it only will shrink. So we'll do that, and it just shrinks a bit, and we get 10 political power. I'm not. I haven't looked that well at the code for switching right now, but it puts all your Dutch units in a few states you control, and it will spawn native units around. But the native units are quite weak. But you can, as I said, you can cheese it quite a bit, as I'll show once the revolt triggers. Alright, so it's both at medium now, so now it can trigger any moment. I would very much like to at least finish off this focus. So we get the expanded infrastructure bonuses in the area. There are, of course, limitations to these. For example, if you want to add a factory to Mid in Java, you have to actually control Mid in Java. So you can still do focuses during the war, but less of them. The Carstens expedition, who were intent on scaling the highest mountain, have successfully returned, having succeeded in their goal. What's more, he discovered a large gold deposit in the wilderness, which could be more advantageous if we could mine it. Sadly, the area is so inhospitable, it will take years, if not decades, for us to take advantage of this. A bit more political power. Does Siam still have the whole Strides of the Stride Syndicate's part of the folk tree in the new version, or will that be removed? I am not sure. I've been very busy the last few weeks, so I haven't had much time to play Kaiserreich. I've mostly been working on the validator and playing a bit of Dutch East Indies to prepare for this. Insulindia would come with South America. Insulindia will be in the next patch because it's in the current master build. This is what I'm playing on. Have they already said what will be in the next patch? I'm not sure. I always forget when news comes out. And the strength rose once again too high, and that should see us revolt up. There's a passive uptick, depending on the movement unity. So this, besides the events. Yeah, we need more manpower, but we're not that much in a hurry, since we mostly need more infantry equipment. The American Civil War triggered. Let's see the CSA win once more. Though I have been seeing quite a bit of wars with the Dominion of... they took New England. Dominion of Canada wars, and they've been winning a fair few of those. Did you just take the path to get it as fast as possible? And if so, what's the normal date? No, there is no path for it to happen as fast as possible. So event-wise, you mean yes. But for you have a few choices in the tree itself. Well, there we go. The Proclamation of Insulindia Independence. So we'll make a save here. Day in this, so I can go back here. That's actually no. It's called day 2. I've made backup saves. So here you have two choices. You can either still play as the Dutch East Indies, or you can play as Insuldindia. Or we'll first go and do the war and win it as the Dutch East Indies. Play a bit more of the Dutch East Indies themselves, and then I'll switch around back to the save and start winning the war. So this is how the situation ends up. You get one unit here. Very, very useful. You basically want this guy to just stand here. Also, your deployment is beautiful, since you can only deploy there. You want to deploy immediately. I could have had a bit more units here, but well, he can win the war on his own. You mean I wouldn't have to use the console? So the enemy has no ships at all. So we're going to use our lovely carrier here mostly for show. But yeah, so the way you mostly want this war to go is just kill these units as soon as you can, and push over here. You can so I won't show the tree just yet, but they have an idea. The Indosindian National Vault, which gives them out of supply consumption, and surrender limit. You can win this by basically taking over the whole of Sumatra and the whole of Java. You can basically let these two units take over everything here. The guy in your card can Rambo his way. Now, I mean, they aren't the most powerful units, but they're not the weakest either. There should be 2 more. I don't like this. And you can go and attack there while you go to Badung. You can just stand here and get supply from the ports. We have a very small amount of boats. Sorry, bombers, which is just naval bombers. So I mean, they'll be doing a lot. So let's slow it down a bit and win and start winning this war. Now you have very little. You still keep the factories at least. Production. You still have 2 of them, so you're making a few guns. Shouldn't units be more spread out with pockets of resistance all over the country? Well, it depends on what you expect to happen. Why didn't I not tell you to oh yeah, they're attacking, but it'll take a second more. There we go. So you start here in Batavia, which is your capital. As long as you keep protecting this, it will be mostly fine. Yeah, so the fact that it happened so quickly is purely because I am focusing on just pissing everyone off as soon as I can. I actually need to prevent you from marching much further. So, as you can see, the Dutch East Indies and the Netherlands are in this war. And you only have about, wait, what is this? You have 11 divisions versus their 8 to 17, but theirs are quite a bit weaker. So, should kind of prevent you from marching on. So, they raid our stockpile, so, you know, those much needed guns, yeah, they got them now. Yeah, marching around here takes a long time, which is really annoying. Basically, most of the war here will form out of getting your shit together here, and then slowly pushing out into the main island. Because, there we go. All we have to do is to take into account the volunteers that will spawn. What am I missing? Artillery? Artillery. Don't really have the production for that. So, let's go and cut these points off so that they have less supply. And for the rest of this war shouldn't be too problem. We'll start the counterattack here as soon as they start here. As soon as they relinquish their attack. Oh yeah, we need to up our manpower idea a bit later. That they end their air force. The Dutch East Indies don't have an air force, and the Dutch themselves can't really send it over. So if you end this war soon enough, you'll have very little problems from the Dutch, the proper Dutch. Yeah, so the key is mostly to just take over this as soon as possible, and that didn't really work out. We just have to make sure to break that one unit there. Shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, we'll have them surrounded here soon enough. I think tank volunteers will be horrible. Yeah, tank volunteers don't get sent over, and it's really not good if that happens. Yeah, you go over there, you go over there. And then we'll have them fully encircled. You should break out soon enough. So, as a show of how weak these units are, with 2 surrounded, you still manage to make sure you get somewhere. Bollocks. Pause that a bit, please. If the Dutch East Indies lose, do the Netherlands declare an Insuldindia? No, the Netherlands already have declared upon Insuldindia right now, so I mean, you better win already, otherwise it's kind of pathetic. Yeah, so the war is already here. So now you can see why if the Dutch, in one of my test games, as I said before, the Dutch entered the Reichspakt, that makes this war just unwinnable, because you'll have the whole of the Reichspakt on top of you, which means, I mean, these guys all go on you. The AOG, which is very much fun. You'll just get navally invaded to death. This can go a bit faster. Once these are gone, we'll have everything here. The Insulindians spawn without a navy. Oh, nice. The reinforcement, the foreign volunteers just spawned. So, well, we can immediately continue attacking here, I guess. Encircled from all. Wait, what? No encirclement? If Netherlands goes Sindhi, does the Dutch East Indies Club? No, they don't. I'll show off what happens there. But so let's retreat so they take the province and we can surround them. Because surrounded from all sides apparently doesn't mean surrounded like this. I mean, now they should get this land, shouldn't they? Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. That's already 37. Yeah, this stream will take a few hours, don't worry about it. There, superior firepower will help a bit here. Should I stop this attack for a second? There we go, now they have the province, and now we'll actually have the surrounded bonus. God damn it, Podcat, I blame you. Yeah, I'm Dutch. If you couldn't hear from the accent just yet. There we go. So now let's do some quality tactics and push everything across the strait. Or we can just do a naval invasion. Tenanvo. I'm not sure where we got those from again. Like Belgians, but worse at football. Oh, that's just cruel. That's just, that's harsh. That's really harsh. So it should take a month or so. This unit is still okay, it's not really holding out. He is actually still holding out, good lord. Are regular infantry best for rough terrain? No, mountaineers are. But you don't really have the capacity to build that, because for that you would need to build support equipment, and you only have 2 or 3 factories. So you mostly want those to be producing just guns everywhere, nothing else. So now we just need to wait for the... I can remove like half of these. So it's shorter, it's only 21 days. Oh yeah, the models are great. Let me show those off for a second here. The models are lovely. I really like them. Yeah, the crossing is never great, but basically once you've went across this crossing, you've won. Oh, more volunteers spawned. I'm not sure why they spawn here. I think it's just a province that he chose. So let's actually just grab a bit more and let the other two guys stand still here. I will not execute you just yet. We'll let you prepare. They won't be able to cross it at all. And these guys aren't going to be able to reach a port anytime soon. Naval invasion be gone. More like naval invasion. Could you please wait a bit? Yeah, you don't need to attack from one side. That's across a river too. Good lord. Stand still for a second. Wait, 4? Where the hell does that river run? Oh, it starts here. So we wanted you to actually go over here. Would it be beneficial for Cindy Nation to intervene against the volunteers? Yeah, they can go Red Sox later. You do get volunteers, but that's more for geopolitical reasons than ideological reasons. Oh, he's still going on strong, but he'll need support quick. He's tiring himself out pretty soon. That's not bad. And he should be almost dead. We can actually, I think, start already doing these. We'll actually grab 2 of you. Send them over there to help out. There we go. Drop in. Of course, there is no hostilities. There's no one here to attack, so there we go. He wanted Nitro to fill the I think is good to counterattack across the strait. Yeah, AI is the smartest in this game. Does Cindy Netherlands keep Insuldindia though? No. Should be a hint about the last focus tree that I'm going to show off today after Insuldindia, of course. Where the hell are those 2 reinforcements that I sent? You are... I love you, Hoi 4, but you're a bit retarded at times. You two should... Why the hell are you not moving to a port to actually get shit done? There we go. There is a port there, yeah. The naval base, I mean. Denver has fallen. How's the American Civil War going? As expected? Not yet conclusive. PSA is losing a bit, though. I mean, no need to attack me in the back. I mean, these units have no supply, but who cares, right? So, why are you not taking naval base? Am I insane, or should they be able to move there? I guess I'm just insane. There we go. So now we'll, annoyingly, we will have 2. Can you show what the Netherlands are doing? Yeah, sure. Give me a second. Just need to set this up. They can have like 3 here. That's not what I intended there. God, how do you do this again? It's like, no, what's these? Yeah, there we go. There we go. No, no, Hoi 4, it's not what I'm trying to do. First, let's just... Never mind. I'll do it manually. Let's first get them into position. Alright, the Netherlands, what ideology are they? Sena is still in control. There haven't been elections yet. When are they? May this year. Oh, they're going to be this month. They aren't doing that much yet. They're just waiting for the elections mostly, and a bit of military stuff. Yeah, the thing about the Netherlands is that they are mostly flavor run, as it were, in the beginning. Which, I mean, isn't bad, but you need to like that. If the Netherlands join the Reichspakt, the whole of the Reichspakt will join the war, and that basically makes it unwinnable. It's a bit unfortunate, but it's a relatively rare thing to happen. Yeah, everyone in the Reichspakt joins in, including the AOG. So we now can just put you in this army, and we can expand this front line. And we'll just need to clear out this small pocket. Where the hell are you going? Just go over here, you can defend themselves just fine. And the Spanish Civil War is triggered. You can be on that one. Just encircle them. And nothing new is spawned. These guys are running a bit rampant, but I don't mind. Check the Dutch elections. It is June. I'm not sure if the events have triggered yet, because there's two election events that happen. First is the winner, and the second is the coalition. Ah, the VPD one. So now the left list is links is victorious, and they made a coalition with the FDAP. So they're gonna go break the pillars. Yeah, the Batavia flag is really nice. So they'll be going. They aren't going full Cindy. They're going semi-Cindy. The Social Democrats have won. But I have a disaster save basically for the Insulindians. You can see once I load that what is actually like a worst case scenario. If you wanna break free. All right, there we go. So we can push on to their capital while we cut them off here. Get a nice... yeah, let's not have you do that, please. Get a nice encirclement. So they have 5 left. There's 1, 2, 3, and then there's 2 on this island. So this is their whole army. Does the SDAP RSAP coalition make you suck them? Not going to play as Insulindia. I'll do that after. Once we've won this battle, which I mean it won't take that long. I'll play as Insulindia. I'm showing off 3 trees today, Hercules, and I'm not going back on that. Oh, there's a single province still there. Oh, we've lost a whole 2,500 men. It's disgraceful. Attacking across a river. High level Dutch strats here. Nah, we can go bad. We can go speed 5 here. Let's go full ham on them. While you march on to the capital, you can march on all the way here. There's quite a lot of impassable structure, so if you lose as Insulindia, you'll have to take care. So now we have the focus where he resigns, and we'll get a new one in a second. What's the score there, Spam? I'm assuming that my 0-0 prediction was very wrong. Also, the match has been only going for like 50 minutes. So for a first half will be done. So yeah, let's just rush over, finish this off. Yeah, they actually start with Sumatra Timor. What has happened so far? So far, I've shown off part of the focus tree of the Netherlands. 0-0 halftime. That's good. It still means points for me. Are you going to show the focus tree of Venezuela? South America's on a different branch. It's not on the master one. All right. So Wars 1. Go fast. Give me a bit more stability. Oh, I predicted 0-1. Ah, crap. Oh, yeah, I predicted 0-0 the last match. Right. You know, you can take that undefended province there, you know. Will the Netherlands still be able to do market liberal parts of the Black Monday route to be bypassed if Insuldindia succeeds in control? I'm actually not sure. I haven't looked that much at the Dutch tree. There we go. We have de gouverneur-generaal Tjarda van Starkenborg-Staschouwer. The Ministry of Colonies have decided to appoint Alidius Tjarda van Starkenborg-Staschouwer as our new Governor-General. It's most as expected considering his career. The new Governor-General is expected to try and keep a balance between repression and compromise with hope to someday give the Indies equal status within the kingdom. The white ruling class and the Indo-Dutch community approves of this choice while the inlanders are different. So he stays ruler of the Raad van Nederlands-Indië. Does Revolt have 3 or focus? Yes, and I haven't shown it off yet, but I will in a minute. Because this war is basically done. So yeah, I haven't taken over any of this, but I don't care. We shouldn't need to. Insuldindia has basically lost. But as you can see, you need quite a bit of their victory points. There we go. Pass 3 times or so. Take it all. And then you have 1. Now, depending on how you want to play, right now there isn't much challenge until the Zweite Weltkrieg happens, and you get pulled in. So, if you want a nice, relaxing game, you can do that. Can you awkwardly puppet them? I don't think so. I mean, De Roser, it makes sense. This is an event for the other guys where the volunteers return home that they sent. But they are Indonesians, and in OTL, the Indonesians lost. Like, they had a way bigger force than the Dutch, but they lost about 4 or 5 times as much men because they are just less well equipped. But the only reason the Indonesian revolt succeeded in real life is because they had the diplomatic backing of the USA. And right now the USA is in a civil war. Same for Great Britain. They also first supported the Dutch, but later they supported the natives. And because of that diplomatic pressure, the Dutch went to the Round Table Conference and gave the East Indies their independence. So it makes sense. It's the same, and it's realistic. The same happened in OTL. You can look up the wiki box for the war, and you'll see that the Indonesians had huge losses because they were just less organized and less well equipped than the Dutch. So yeah, any competent player should be able to win this war easily. I think that Germany and the Entente might well back. I mean, of course, imperialism is very much alive here, so keeping the colonies under control very much will happen. But unless the Germans, they kind of have like a cold approach. They don't really care what the Dutch do with their colonies. They should be able to handle it just fine. Well, to be fair, the thing is that the reason why the war could had a chance in OTL was because the Dutch just had the World War. They were under occupation for years, and then the revolt rises up. Right here, it's a bit different, and with a way more focused Dutch East Indies, because in real life, the Dutch East Indies have been weakened a lot by Japanese occupation during the whole World War. And right as the Japanese surrendered, the Indonesians declared their independence. So you have a weak Dutch East Indies and a stronger native population which thinks it has a chance. Where here, you have a native population which thinks it has a chance but doesn't really, under the AI at least. So if you win, you can continue your military, your economic tree, get more factories, get more doctrine, build up your navy, and also go down the political path, giving you more popularity, more stability, etc. Strengthen the Volksraad, and then have the Congress of Batavia. Now, I'll show this off right now, which is a reform because, well, I'll be I'll be switching to the Insuldindia after that. I'm actually not sure, Spam. I haven't heard the name Charda ever right now, but it is, 50 years. It's like 80 years later. Maybe if the Insuldindia revolt happened around the Zweite Weltkrieg and have Dutch stealing your units for war effort in Europe. You'll have to ask Tomahawk about that, because I for now have forced the revolt to happen quick before the Zweite Weltkrieg. Yeah, I provoke the independence movement to attack me when it is relatively weak. So, yeah, he's the dev of this nation, Sir Roser. So, if you want to ask about mechanical changes like that, you'll have to ask him and not me. Unless you mean my opinion, which I'd say it's all dynamic. If you provoke them very quick, they should lose because they will go in unprepared. Can you get the V and how without them winning the Dutch election? No. I mean, why would they? The Dutch, you're a puppet. You will have the government of your ruler. Well, of course, because you're a colonial government, it's a bit different. But unless the Dutch themselves go V and ha, why would you? You're not independent. Iran or Australasia? Australasia has a small updated tree, where Iran has a bigger updated tree. So we're gonna do focus dots. Auto. What was it? What was the command again? Auto complete, right? Yeah. You don't meet the requirements. Oh, we need. Great. There, let's do Congress of Batavia. So, Dirty Cheater goes and gets some, get the event. At least it should trigger. And me cheating? Would I ever? We could have gone the chief of there. There we go. So, this is the main event chain you'll be going after if you play it. Oh yeah, the revolt starting at medium it can happen, but it's not that easy. Normally it would go up to high, and then it has a very much larger chance of starting. The Congress of Batavia started, represented from all over. The Indies have arrived to negotiate the future of the Dutch East Indies and it being raised to equal status within the Netherlands. The first contentious issue is what these new countries within the kingdom will be. Most nationalists seem to favor a solution where Java and Sumatra are united, Borneo and Celebes are their own country, another state called East Insulindia, which includes the Moluccas and the overall Christian part of the land. Many, Dutch and Eastern Indonesians, are afraid, however, that such a Java Sumatra would go on to dominate the new kingdom of the Netherlands and would rather see both islands split up into several countries. Then there's the middle ground, where both Java and Sumatra are their own countries within the kingdom and the So you can either get them small and controllable, give them something, give them nothing, or make them united. So let's get border gore here. If Insulindia gains independence, can Australasia have a war goal of keeping the peace? I'm not sure about that. Thank you for spelling my name very wrong there, Footington. This is just a premier flavor event. You can read that on your own if you play the country. The next contentious issue is the way the kingdom would be ruled overall. The country within the kingdom will have full internal autonomy, but some oversight should be there. Especially when changes need to be made to the constitution. All representatives agree on that. The Dutch argue that the Netherlands should lead this group, with all other countries sending their representatives to the Council of Ministers. The others reject that notion, declare it would be undemocratic and that each country should be represented. Democracy. Pfft, who needs that? What do you mean there, Krebs? This is the new the new, more modern Oracle of Ages. Several smoothly agreed upon issues. Smoothly. When another highly contentious one appeared near the end of the conference, foreign policy. Obviously, the countries stand together under the kingdom. But the Dutch want to control foreign policy when it doesn't directly concern any of the other countries, while the Insulindians would much rather see a unified foreign ministry that is set up by the autonomous countries together. Once the issue is resolved, it will be voted on by the Staats-Generaal. We are obviously right. Come on. So here you can shape your own situation you want. Oh no, they reject it. They are not amused with the sudden rejection of their rights. The strength grows. Can it trigger again? I'm not even sure. The strength is still there, but the unity isn't. Oh, you can still get those events. I'm not sure what actually happens if you if it happens. I can trigger the event myself. If Thomas, could you I can look it up myself. Give me a second here. Dutch to East Indies events. Where is the Batavia petition is accepted? Let me see. I wanna trigger this. So we can see what happens. Sign it. I think I need to trigger this from the Dutch perspective. Tomak, do you know the event ID that I can trigger to finish the this event chain properly? The event descriptions aren't always as descriptive here. I've seen a few, but is it day 48? Charter for the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Dutch have to take their focus. Oh, I see. So the Dutch have to take this focus here. Where is it? Here. Right, it is that one. But they can't take that right now because the we need to have an agreement, and it was rejected. At least I think you mean that one. So because it's rejected, it's all screwed over because you've chartered for the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Well, here, I can trigger that anyway. Did that work? It didn't do anything, possibly because the right flags weren't set. Let me actually tag over to the Dutch. No, that just does Suriname and Curaçao. Okay, this is not exactly what I was intending for. Oh well. So if you can bring it to a proper conclusion and the Dutch take the event focus you love to, then I guess that can work out. But I'm not gonna scrounge through more event files right now. So we're gonna go and play as some Insulindians. But because I'm probably gonna lose and I really, really like cheese, I'm gonna show you some. I mean, I'm Dutch. I love this stuff. That's a lot of errors. The thing is that for the events there could be flags could have been set by the failing of the tree of that event tree, so it's possible that I couldn't even get the right solution without resetting the whole path, and that's a bit too much effort. So I mean, we can play as these guys, but I mean, why would we fight against an army? That's not fun. I mean, why would we fight against the navy? That's even less fun. They don't need it. The Dutch are powerful enough on their own. I mean, they have no army. What a shame. Who would have expected that? Ah, poor Dutch. All their troops just decided to plunge themselves into the depth of the ocean, right as it, right as they rose up. That's weak. I'm here to show off, not to play well. I'll show off a very disastrous situation a bit later. Making the stream short so I can watch it. Oh, that was the Rise of the Nation, where you get like, or this is the official language, and you get a bit of political power and an idea. So, let's show off a focus tree. So this is the Insuldindia focus tree. You have a political part, a foreign office part, and an economy part. Economy part, army part, which we'll start with, naval, and aircraft. Now you can only do these from the start until you have won the war. So you can start a new army, get a guerrilla force, or take inspiration from the Koninklijk Nederlands Indonesisch leger, where you get division organization, max planning, etc. Or you get supply, attrition. The division attack on core territory is nice, but you really shouldn't need it, since you'll mostly be attacking. Then you have pick a doctrine, artillery, light armor divisions, better guns, mountaineers, marines, and then you end with modern military, which gives you a bit of experience. Same goes for, you can try and purchase for foreign warships. It has no effect. I'm not sure if it's still the same or if the... You know, I have the focus tree here. What's the focus called? It's buy. Where are you? Oh, completion reward is empty right now. Will be fixed. You can choose between subsurface, conventional. You get a few designs, and then you get dockyard output, which is pretty good. Yeah, so right now these aren't too big, these trees, so it's not that bad. And for Air Force, you can purchase Japanese, or you can get some of the old interwar fighters, and yeah, pretty standard. So I'll take a look at this in a second. First, we'll just go fast through this war. So you inherit the research that the Dutch did for you. So you don't start off at nothing, so you can control a bit about what the Insulindians get. And assigned divisions, sure, go there. Well, we'll need some guns. We'll have plenty trade. Oh yeah, we don't control the right provinces yet, so... once we control everything, we'll be able to trade without needing convoys. So since you start up with nothing, you have two here, so you can put him on one. You know, tell him to go take a hike. And a dockyard, because we would like some convoys. And then we can just go speed 5 a bit. Well, Dutch army's been overrun. Long live the Republic. So yeah, but it's not over. While this may seem nice and dandy, it's not like it's immediately done. Once we have produced some convoys, we will actually want to keep a hold, because alright, it's not there yet, but I'll show it. It should appear in a second. See, they do get some units, but we'll actually let's actually let him march. There we go, because we want him to march over there where he can be surrounded, or well, we'll just crush him there. So you can not do the cheese that I did, but you'll have a really hard time, because your units are just flat out inferior to the Dutch ones. So you'll need to be you'll need to watch out and take care a lot. So we need to keep you there while we crush these. There, now we'll have a nice... So once I control this, we should see a decision pop up for a peace. Because, well, without a navy, even though the Dutch don't have one, there's no way you can invade and make them capitulate the normal way. So, a new way has been implemented to win it. And there we go. The Insulindian National Revolt. We have secured control over most of Java and Sumatra, so you control the states. If we manage to maintain this position, the Dutch will have to come to terms with us in due time. So, if you manage to defend Java and Sumatra for 170 days, a peace event will trigger, where you will be able to basically dole out the deals, and you can annex or keep most, depending on what you own. So, inspired by our revolt against the Hunnic menace, a group of several Insulindian socialist exiles led by the illustrious Insulindian socialist Tan Malaka have offered their services as part of our struggle. Many believe we can use all the help we can get. Shall we let these Insulindians in for the glory of the revolution now and the Insulindian revolution tomorrow? Well, of course we shall. We can just so we control this. Just delete these annoying ones. Okay, they're fine. Good. So we don't need to actually take this. We just need to make sure that they don't control more than they have right now. No, you can please. Did you make the save before yesterday? No. The save I made this session. I have a few backup saves, but I didn't. I pulled this morning, but I didn't pull right before I started. Yeah, I'll show the rest of the Merlika tree once the revolt is won. Go over there, you numbskull. So as long as we manage to defend this, what we find, they'll wear themselves out. So they can still produce units right now. So what you need to do is, after you've kicked all of the normal units off, you need to garrison and defend everything. Oh yeah. Pff, generals. What a silly idea. Yeah, just push hard. They are of low organization, so they'll falter pretty easily. Alright, there we go. Now, we'll put you guys on a new army. And we'll tell you to garrison this. Now, you actually do start out with a... with one guy, so there we go. Let's run the war by committee. That sounds like a bad idea. Alright, there we go. Let's crush them. Oh, they're all fleeing over there. I'll check out the American Civil War in a second. There we go. Cleared out. So now we're gonna put them all on this army. And put a bigger garrison area. Garrison order in. There we go. We can do another focus. So right now you want the better of that. So I would love to actually have a fleet, a small one, but we can't. So I don't think the Dutch have any fleet right now. Oh wait, there's actually Dutch troops here. Huh. So I need to make sure those don't leave. Did the day start with an escort carrier? Yes, they did, but I deleted that because the Dutch don't need a navy. Why would they? I cheese this really hard. Normally, if you want a proper fight, don't do that. But depending on the situation, it can be pretty tough. So there we go. We get more manpower, political power, and we get 2 more units, which is kind of useful since you need them to garrison the points. Since how many days are we in? We are still 4 months away. I need to make sure you have supply, which is a bit annoying. Right, well, how is the Civil War going here? Huh. The CSA is being pushed back, but sorry, the CSA is being pushed back, but the PSA is still alive. And this is going nice three-way. Yeah, the day you start with a pretty powerful navy. So if you like navy play, you won't be disappointed. But of course, you won't be doing much until the actual war starts. The Zweitweltkrieg will be called in. So should be able to kill the. How many guns do we produce? We're still pretty much in the negative that I would like. Oh, we can actually give you a trait. Oh, guerrilla fighter. Sure, very useful. So right now I want the entrenchment to be a lot higher since we'll get attacked. So as long as you get the guns you need, you'll be able to attack just fine. So how many units do the Dutch have? So the Dutch themselves have quite a bit, but the Dutch East Indies only have 3. This is not the reworked China, it's just old China. So if you were hoping for that, well, that's not on this branch. That's on a different one, of course. That's annoying. They might be encircled, but they're entrenched. As you can see, the attack of ours is lower. So we're not doing much here unless we get more guns and up our strength. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them on a new theater and put these on the higher reinforcement priority. So they'll get their guns just a bit faster. Here I'll have the numbers. Has Scandinavia gotten anything? As far as I know, no. I take it, yeah, I am on the master branch. I mean, I always do my previews on the master branch. And another one landed. I mean, I don't mind if they're here, since then they're not taking over the crucial islands that we need. That's actually working out better than I expected. Or did they just gain another division? No, they have 3 to 4. But normally they will do naval invasions, but because I deleted the navy. They won't have a... I see. So they're occupying the Tanjung Pinang island here. But since the Dutch don't have a navy, I can move over there. Where I can't invade because I don't have control over the area. You should do your previews on a feature plan so that it's only half finished and then tested. I mean, this branch is still not like properly finished. We're not in code freeze yet. Far from it, in fact. So that means that there can still be crashes. During testing, I got, I think, 1 or 2. Good note, we fixed one thing, one possible source of the 1937 crash. There was a really strange one. What happened is that apparently, I think Zank talked to Paradox. So apparently what happens is that if an admiral, a navy general, gets his first trait from spotting, then the game will crash. So usually, because the Dutch, because Kaiserreich has a lot more generals than Hoi 4 does, there's a way bigger chance of this. So it happens a lot more often in Kaiserreich, and it usually happens in 37. And the reason why a crash like that can be unavoidable is because the general can still get the trait no matter what you do, since he'll have experience. So we fixed that. However, there are more causes for this 37 crash, but we fixed one of them, most likely. We will need to do more testing, but we're fairly certain we found one of them. When is the China rework? China, I have no idea when, but it won't be on 0.7. That I can tell you. I'm not sure if we released the time frame for the upcoming events patches, but 0.7 won't be China. Yeah, the USA rework isn't on this branch, but you should have been able to see that pretty quickly. And FYI, the new USA stuff looks really cool. I think everyone will love that. So it's a pretty calm one. We'll have almost be done with Defend Java and Sumatra when 0.4 came out. I think a year or so ago. Ah, the Balkans go again. So yeah, the only way we could actually so the thing is we log everything. There's a gigantic logging system that I've added together with a few other people, and in a few crashes we saw the spotting trait has been added, but we didn't connect those until we got like one specific save where it always crashed at around the same time with that message, and that allowed us to send it to Paradox. They figured it out, and we said, like, right, it's probably this, and they figured out the crashing code, and that was awesome, so we could fix that. All right, the Roundtable Conference. The Dutch have shown their inability to quash our rebellion, and with the international community starting to notice our plight, their position is becoming increasingly unstable. We'll likely be able to negotiate a favorable deal, establishing sovereignty over all the Indonesian archipelago. The day has come. So now a few events will happen where the Dutch, East Indonesian, and the Dutch can choose what kind of deal to sign and what to give to us. This can range anywhere from you getting just Java and Sumatra to you getting everything. Usually if you control all of this and all of this, you should be able to get everything. And if my expectations are right, that should happen any second now. Saving up that so I can start the Merdeka bits. Nah, no problem. I'll let it tick over a bit more. Well, we get the Brazilian lore video. The lore videos take a lot of time and effort to make, so I cannot say at all. They are really good, and Vincent is a great guy. I've met him at ParadoxCon, and it was awesome. And the art he makes is amazing. The Dutch signed a treaty. The Dutch have agreed to transfer all sovereignty over the Indies to the Republic of Insulindia. This is a great day for our country and will be remembered by the generations after. For today, Insulindia became officially an independent country, free from imperialism, and we get America has been achieved. And there we go. We have won the Civil War. Oh, also war the uprising, and taken over all of this. So let's take a look at the expansion first we can do. So we get 4 decisions here. We can occupy Timor-Leste, which is this bit here from Portugal. Now, Portugal isn't that weak. I think they start in the Entente. Oh, they're in no faction. All right, so we'll do that. Send in the troops so we can occupy that. We can confront the German menace where we can attack the Germans. Now, tip. Don't do this unless you're a really good player, since you will die, since this will call in, since you get an Alex goal against the German Empire, and it's not a standard colonial war where it's just the GEA and you. No, it's everyone. So get ready to get invaded. You can attack the southeast Iranian, where you can attack the Australasian menace, or you can attempt to buy it. Oh yeah, the Black Winds is a monster coder. He does tons of stuff, but he basically sacrificed his social and other life for it. So we have achieved Merdeka, and let's take a look at the tree we get here. So first, political crossroads. So here's the elections you can get, or if the Darul Islam have taken over during the war, or if the coup of the Sultans has succeeded during the Civil War. Okay, he hasn't. Of course, he has a social life on the Kaiserreich Discord. I mean, the Black Wiz is an awesome guy, and he does a lot of work for Kaiserreich. So you can either go for, full Islam, purge the heathens, establish an Islamic State, Quran indoctrination, and Allah Mahabazar. I think you get the idea of what this part of the tree goes after. And the coup of the Sultans is basically authoritarian. You get ruled by the princes. You can try to centralize or decentralize. You get a few events for a royal constitution, and you end with more political power. You end with political stability, which gives you plus 20, which you'll need, since I might be at 53 right now, but we'll go a bit lower later. And either you can do a coalition, stability, political power, get the Nazi'in government, which gives you more production efficiency, and gets you a very nice bonus where you get less democratic, social liberal, and market liberal, and social conservative supports. Okay, I know, Tomahawk, but you can back down. And Portugal is not in the Entente right now. You can have victory for the PNI. You can get war support, stability, daily political power, which is really good. You get more popularity, political power, surrender limit, division attack, and division defense on core, and you get a bit more political power. Insuldindia can go ham on a part of the world, not the whole world. I'm not sure if this one is currently no effect on purpose or if it's just not written yet. Get new constitution, split the legislature, free speech, no. And then you have the radical socialist one where you can go Sindhi. Get nice localized flags there. You get in Islamic socialism, social distribution, and it's being bypassed. So for here you can retreat. You can either declare war, or you can just retreat back to West Timor and lose a lot of stability. If you feel confident, you can attack the. It's being bypassed, the NU focus. Oh yeah, these are all bypassed. I'm speaking nonsense here. Oh yeah, then of course you have the foreign offices focuses. I mean, the Wolf Edge. You just occupy the country and retreat it back. That makes your government look super weak. So it makes sense. So establish a foreign offense. You can either go your own faction, go with the Malay Archipelago, induct the Philippines, the Siamese, and get a research group. Or you can go contact within Asia, get allied with the Bariata Commune, the Co-Prosperity Sphere, or if you go Western, you can join the Rise Pact with the Entente. Now this depends on your ruling party. So you need to... so it really depends on what happens. So here you need the Colton Counter Coup to succeed. And think, which is the one where you need the... I don't think there's one where you need the Islamics to win. So here, for example, you need to be Pat Ott, and Germany needs to be at war with the Empire of Japan for you to join. Here you just need to be Pat Ott, and the Sultans have succeeded. Here you need to be Brad Sock and completed the focus you can see there, or you need to be Ott Dem, and the PNI must have taken full control. Or you can just join the Co-Prosperity Sphere if the Japanese have created one. And it finishes off with international contacts. You have the economy tree, which you can either stand on your own feet, get the Avaska Bank Act, nationalize Dutch asset, combat corruption. We should get this idea pretty quickly. Get air bases, get tax lot, and finish with an economic boom. Or we can go foreign, invite investors from Asia, get the Dutch back, refurbish, expand Southeast Asia trading hubs. But a big part of this is mutually exclusive, so while it may seem long, you won't be able to do every single path of this. And we'll let this go on for a bit. I'll go and do the political part of the tree, because this part speaks for itself, and we have one more focus tree to show off today. We're not done just yet. Oh no, we're not. I'm gonna grab a bit of water while this ticks on. Alright. Looking at the game room while we go. Yeah, I mean, a lot of important stuff happened while we were gone, right? Right, let's go political crossroad. What do we have here? Oh, we can do this. Oh, I can try and buy it. And there we go. Having secured the independence of our country, our time has come to officially inaugurate President Sukarno as president of our nation. The ceremony takes place in Jakarta in the Kraton Palace. Sukarno soon arrived in his white ceremonial suit and proceeded to swear the oath of the office after an Islamic priest over to pray for our country's future. Become a little bit more real today. So here, I'm sure the Australasians will agree. Australasia rejects our suggestion. The Australians have rejected our suggestion to purchase a Papua, claiming that it would go against the wishes of the native population and thus can't be arranged. So those are lies. Yeah, the political party I have is the Partij Totalis Insuldindia. I'm sorry if I butchered these names. The Central Organisi Budu. That. You can get the Partij Murba, the Partij Socialist Insulindia again, just different flanks of that. The Partij Nasional Insulindia, the Darul Islam, and the Angkatan Perang Ratu Adil. Yeah, I butchered that hard. So, what you can do from here on out is try and invade, for example, Siam. If you feel very lucky, punk, you can go after the Australasians if they, for example, haven't joined the Entente. You can go after Burma, but that's only after you've built up a navy. So you'll kind of need to wait a long time for this to be able to even happen. To do much as Insulindia. So it's mostly flavor and focus driven until you get a powerful enough navy that you can do naval invasions. Because, well, the Union of Burma and the Kingdom of Siam won't have no navies. You can try and invade, for example, the Philippines, but they are independent, so you could try that. Although you don't border them, so another naval invasion will have to happen. And there we go, the corruption rises. We're sadly seeing an upward trend of corruption. Many jobs that were previously either very closely coordinated or only held by the Dutch, such as custom duties, have now been opened up by the general Insulindian populace. Many of these are poor and uneducated and gladly take this extra rupias in return for letting an eye or returning a small favor. That's not so good. Yeah, and this part got annexed by the GEA, got occupied. Because they are... I mean, they did go socialist, so the Germans intervene. The assassination on Sukarno. Our President Sukarno was visiting Sumatra today when someone hurled a grenade at him. The suspect was quickly detained and revealed to be a Darul Islam militant, but the status of our president remains unclear at the moment. Did the bomb fail to explode, or did he survive? Or did the Darul Islam succeed in their evil plot to destabilize our government? So, you can try what happens here. You can try and show up the Federation. What do I need exactly for the... here? I don't need anything. Oh, here. State of Malaysia. So this is not possible, unfortunately. So as you can see right now... let's see. This is a bit of a mess to make sense of. Let's see. One of the following must be true. Sultan of Malaysia exists. Wait, that is true. So why is it not one of the following must be true? You just have to beat up the Germans. Oh, yes, great. I'm sure I'll be able to do that. But yeah, so we can make him the leader. Sukarno dies, or we can. Well, we lose the base stability anyway, but he gets blown up, and we have Muhammad Hatta as a leader now. So yeah, we now have rampant corruption, which you can get rid of here. I'm not sure where you get rid of it in this part of the focus. We had that event before, so don't. So we need to go this path if you want to not lose the corruption. What's the significance of the event to lead to an Islamic coup? I'm actually not sure. I haven't played this path that much, so I wouldn't actually know. As you can see, I've did my preparation very well. On the 1st of February 1938, 1904 local time, the Banda Sea was hit by an earthquake of magnitude 8.4. Despite the subsequent creation of destructive tsunami of up to 1.5 meters high, no human lives have been lost in the catastrophe due to this location. I mean, we would love to have this actually fire on the 1st, but paradox. Might be guaranteed or supported. They're a puppet of... Well, the thing is, right now they're syndicalist, so they are no longer a puppet or guaranteed. But you're right, expanding that way is dangerous as... Alright. Attempted coup. Shortly after the attack on our president, Darussalam's militants attacked key strategic points all over Java, Sumatra and Sulawesi, with their troops taking control over the radio station, declaring the establishment of a Negara Islam Insulindia, an Insulindian Islamic state in response to the heathenly secularization of President Sukarno. So either they will be pushed back to Jakarta and surely chased, or they secure it and follow a mass defection, take control. So here you can become the vacant fort, but you get the royalist counter coup. So if you do this, you will change to be able to take this path. But there's still some other possibility. And you get an Islamic State of Insulindia flag, and you get this guy who I can't pronounce, who rules you. So yeah, and also as you can see, that events leads to the Darul Islam, or you can go and do the Sultan path. We'll probably do the Sultan path right now, because then you can go and join the Entente. We should get the event, the counter coup, but we haven't just yet. So I'll see if it triggers if I wait. We can bypass, well, we can start it at 0 days. Should actually make this a bypass. Oh no, it probably isn't for a reason. It's possible it won't fire if your unity was too high before you got independence. Don't remember for sure what my unity is. What's the event ID? Could you tell me? Then I'll fire it just manually. If you become the Islamic State, you get stuff to liberate Mecca and Medina. Hercules, that sounds a bit unrealistic. Can join the Crow Prosperity Sphere, get all the anime shipments. Have they even formed it yet? The Empire of Japan isn't even the leader of a faction. The Ottomans have gone ham. For Byzantium, no Byzantium means here. If you that will get you a very swift timeout. Gee, who would have expected this to see as they won? Well, they're still fighting the Mexicans. Timeout by whom? By you, Baz. And this is still going on, good lord. You guys should make Japan start with the faction so other nations can join without having to wait. I mean, not forming it allows for more possibilities, and in the end that is more fun, more options. So it's always fun. So let's see what the event is for the Sultan counter coup. This is the focus tree. I do not need that. This is the events. Why are there two Insulindian? What do you mean there's two? There isn't two. I just had this selected, so this got a different color. Is a new PSA tree? No, there's nothing. There is nothing of this, of that. Of the America rework on this. That's on a different. That's on a different patch, branch. Where's the auto coup? I don't think there's a way to trigger it right now. Can't see it easily. So I guess if you need to keep your unity low if you want the counter coup to fire. Can every breakaway from the civil war form America? I'm not sure. Yeah, I can cheat, but I'm not sure what the event is, Toma. I can't find it that easily. It's almost as if I haven't made the event stuff. Yeah, America is not done yet at all. And I think it's already been shown on which patch it'll actually be. So you should be able to know that it isn't coming soon. Event Inst3, thank you. There we go. So we can have the rebels, which will become the Indian Sultanates. The Royalist counter coup. We get a fancy new icon. And now we can do the coup of the sultans. And we have a bit more. And so now we can do the join the Entente. But we'll first go and do the coup of the sultans. It takes a whole day, and we can rally the right. Because I'll show off this event chain here. These. Well, South America will be in a different patch than North America. How will the League of American States work in 0.7? They will be in different patches, but I'm not sure how that will work. The cheating cost will lead it to not change. That's what you get for being a dirty, dirty cheater. Yeah, there's no way to fix that manually, unfortunately. So what's how was our research that? Me cheating? Why would I? Actually, we have less from. We only have only 7 from trade, but we have quite a bit for consumer goods. Of course, the rampant corruption won't help there. That's 20% more consumer goods factories. Woo. The thing is with if you make 35-day focuses, you either need more of them because it can either go way too fast, or you need bigger trees, so there's more to do. Where here the tree is smaller, but the focuses are shorter. With the royalist takeover, voices has appeared arguing to officially change the capital of our great nation to the city of Yogyakarta, the capital of Sultan's own sultanate, where its seat of power is located. Others argue that such a move would imply Yogyakarta's dominance within the nation, and that would imply it would be better to leave Jakarta as the capital of our nation to show our impartiality. So you can, move the capital or just don't care. The foreign investment needs something to cower the corruption. Yeah, I'm not sure why there isn't a option to remove that in the foreign investment part, but welcome to work in progress content, of course. You can already get rid of it. How? By event after you finished it. Okay, so an event trigger. Alright, fair enough. Now we're the lovely Paddots. How industrialized can Insuldindia and Dutch East Indies realistically get? I think you can get about 15 factories. There were a few more in the Dutch East Indies tree, and right here you'll get a few. Right here. But if you want the most, bit of infrastructure. If you want the most, it is best to do all the Dutch East Indies focuses that give you factories, and then switch to Insuldindia, so you can double dip, as it were. How many and what capitals are possible? So far I've only seen 2, but there might be more on different paths. Normally I take way more time to prepare and run through every single path of the nations that I do, but the last few weeks have been very busy, and I haven't had as much time as I would have liked, unfortunately, to play the mod. Oh, you can get a lot of manpower. I mean, we're on volunteer only, and we're at 1 million. It's almost as if the East Indies have a lot of people. You can also get another research slot, but we're not that much in a hurry while civil wars rage around us. Yeah, you can get a lot of manpower if you. I mean, you are an Asian nation, so but you are a slow burner. You have a lot of trade, so you get quite a bit of You have a lot of rubber. Of course, you won't trade away everything, but you still get quite a bit of them. Especially later, say Germany loses these holdings, they will start trading a lot of your rubber. Yeah, I mean the Java and Jakarta are the core islands of the Indonesian archipelago, so it makes sense that you need those two states for the ticking stuff to start. And just from a gameplay perspective, if you start putting units everywhere, it just makes no sense. You put them here because so it makes sense for the ticking war. Manpower wise, the Dutch have a lot less, so it's key if you want to play them to build up. And the problem as the Insulindians will be indeed that you don't have enough guns, so the manpower is fine. Yeah, I know we have planes, but we just do all this so we got their naval bombers. Okay, that's very useful. Dealing with Bodo Budur. Near Yogyakarta and Java, there's the Borobudur temple complex used by Buddhist infidels and restored by the Dutch 2 decades ago. Obviously, this is a stain on our nation, and we can't leave it to attract more infidels. So it'll have to be demolished. The only question is how dynamite or sledgehammers. I like the boom. This is a bug. Why is this a well? I think that's possibly because because I fired this one. Yeah, it's because the flags are messed up. Because the flags aren't cleared properly. I mean, that's all. You always get that with cheating a bit around, but we should soon start going through these focuses. Rip tourism in the future. I'm sure the if you want to play to like 2000, you'll feel the pain. I mean, there are some events that go until very late. I think there's one for the Romanian oil shipments. Any flavor for establishing Islamist faction? Maybe I'm not sure. We get that event again. I think there's something bugged there. Should be almost done, and we'll start the centralization or decentralization. The power. Egypt has elections in the early 50s. I mean, early 50s is nothing compared to 2000s. And I think, won't the rework... I know some nations have very late... elections. The power of the nobility has been safeguarded through the coup, but now they start bickering amongst themselves. The Sultan of Yogyakarta, and by extension of all of the Insulindian Sultanate, would like to centralize all power in the national government. His allies, the lesser nobles and other sultans, would much rather keep this power decentralized, with them at the head of their own kingdom. Now the Sultan... Oh, the Japanese are warring. Ah, crap. Maybe I shouldn't have kept that paused. So the Sultan probably wants to keep that. Oh, we can choose what to do. I think we chose for keeping it centralized. That's what I get for unpausing while reading. Natural at peak competence again. Am I ever at not peak competence? Anyway, we'll look at these two events chains. Oh, you're just political power, and then we'll switch over to the next nation. Now you can join the Entente or whatever other faction you want to aim for and get into the war. So you'll have some actions about the Zweite Weltkrieg, but until then it's mostly the Civil War, if you want to go for that. So the easiest way to get that is just piss off the natives as much as possible. Get your unity high, and or low if you want the to get the Insulindian Sultanates normally without having to be a dirty cheater. And of course you can send volunteers, which makes sure that you don't... I don't think you need to actually have a navy then to support them. So we should be almost done. Ah, yeah, we went for the centralized government. So then you get maximum command power increase. I've never ever seen that modifier before. So, division organization and production efficiency growth. Sultan path is the free. Which you know, Basilei is works on Mayo and taxes too, and he was also at Paradox Con for them, and he is a very nice guy. So yeah, if you have any questions about Mayo, go and bug him, because he loves that. Paradox Con was a lot of fun. I hope you people watch the Paradox Con Kaiserreich presentation, because I was in that too, and I couldn't breathe, so it was very comfortable to give that presentation, but it was a lot of fun. The Royalist Constitution. Succession. As we started drafting a definitive constitution for our glorious nation, the first most glaring issue is succession. What if our sultan dies? He himself would prefer his son, but many others of the other nobles don't agree and argue that the best solution would be letting them vote on who shall rise to the throne. So the most capable among them will all rule. Elective monarchy. Come on, anyone who's ever played CK2 know that's garbage. And male primogeniture is always the best. Come on, we want men here. Let's have that tick up. Yeah, the both presentations for Kaiserreich and Mayo are really interesting, and I implore you to watch them. Same for the talk that Podcast did, Dan Lind, on Hoi 4. The Royalist Constitution and executive power, after several questions that were rather easy to agree on, such as the stage of religion, free, syndicalism, banned. Once again, a contentious issue has resurfaced. Where should the responsibility of executive power lie? According to the Sultan, can't pronounce that name, this should be with the nation's Sultan. This very debate proves that if we don't, any decision will be reduced to the current bickering, while absolute rule by the Sultan would assure quick decision-making. Several princes disagree, arguing that this places too much power in the Sultan's hands. Sultan will always have the final say. What about female male primogeniture? I don't think, can Islamic countries in CK2 even have female or equal primogeniture? I'm not sure. The most noble and ancient royal house of York. Thank you. I mean, I can translate this, of course. More Insulindian ones. Alright, good lord. Several armed soldiers moved to the palace to demand the dissolution of the People Representative Council. This shows the low amount of legitimacy of the body by the people in more and more loops. The PRC is not ruling, though. So I think that's an old event by... Alright, the Royal Constitution, revocation of titles. Towards the end of this constitution, the Sultan mentioned there should be the possibility to revoke the titles in case of extraordinary events. This makes the bulk of the nobility anxious for their position, and nobody really believes the Sultan will be able to push this through. Then he makes concessions, however. It requires a 2/3 majority approval in the Council of Princes. It is not acceptable. Not sure why there's not an option to actually allow that, but sure. Signing the Constitution after long weeks of negotiation, we finally have finished it. The Sultan is signing it as we speak. It is clear, however, that we perhaps gave too much power to the Sultan. The princes and Rajas do not look particularly happy with it. Pessimists might say they will not be particularly loyal to the government. They feel like they're not completely part of. Hooray! Come on, guys, cheer along. So we'll be weaker. In the surrender limit and recruitable population factor. But that finishes off this political part. And we'll be going on to... well, you can join the Entente right now. You can join the Reichspakt right now. You cannot join the Commune. You can also join the Japanese if they actually become a leader. Or you can do your own. And I think... Yeah, you can induct these. You shouldn't... Come on. Ah, the Ottomans have had their white peace. Why does your leader look like he had the same disease? Oh, that's cruel. Ah, it seems the Ottomans lost quite a bit. And GG Nepal. Does it require them to create a faction? Yeah, they need to be a faction leader. They need to have completed the Focus India United, and they need to be a faction leader. Well, and you need to be Rat Sock. Hey, we have even more Insulindian exiles from Indochina. Yeah, their leader is bugged. This is the leader of the Darul Islam. Yeah, I think India happens far into the game. Well, it makes sense. Why would you join the Bharatiya commune when they're not even the legitimate ruler of India? Which once this focus is done, I'll do focus autocomplete and no checks and make my own faction. And then we'll load a special save that I've prepared a few days ago, where everything went very, very different. So this should only take 10 more days. And I'll be showing off the last focus tree of today, which, as some people have already predicted, told, and guessed, is the Dutch government in exile focus, where the Batavian commune forms and the Dutch Wilhelmina goes from direct rule from Jakarta. So, no checks. It's red, of course, so we go to... People start liking me, and we form our own faction. We confederate it, we induct them, and we create a research group. We see if they actually accept it. There we go. We have inducted the Philippines, and we have inducted the Siamese. So with that, you actually can create a relatively good faction with which you could, for example, attack the Australasians if they don't join the Entente. You could attack Qing, which actually killed the AOG. You can start going after the Yunnans. There's a lot more you can do. Or, of course, you can get into... will Vietnam have the option to join them if they are independent? Not sure. There isn't an option in here. They might get an event. But that's enough for now from this nation, because we will load a save that is very below here, because welcome to playing on debug mode. Where are you? You're in your exile. There we go. Are there truce events to take our to get where you got? They would have joined already. Ah, okay. Are there truce events to take out colonies without having to invade everything? I'm not sure. We'll have to ask Tomak. So, right here, we're still the Dutch East Indies, but well, they might be in the Reichspakt. That's gonna change soon, because if everything goes right, we should see the situation change a bit. No, that's not what I was waiting for. So here the Indo-Chinese have succeeded. It's always random a bit, of course, so I hope the it happens on its own without me having to tag over. It should have happened already. So yeah, right now the Dutch is in the Reichspakt. So if you wanna win against the Dutch, you'll have to fight a lot of people. So basically it's impossible to win this. But this should start. It should pop any second now. Otherwise I'll just reload the save and I'll tag over to the Dutch and trigger the event myself. Should have saved after they went Cindy. It happened right before. I'm not sure. I thought I had made a save as close as possible to it. But what I could do is go to the... Where are you? Why are there all these other ones in between? What's this? France. It's USA. Where are you? There, in the Exile. Let's see. It's in the 4th of May. That might be it. Yeah, if you play on debug mode, you it makes a save every single time there's a peace conference. No, I never turn off peace conference because they're great for debugging, because you get a lot more saves, especially if something breaks. Yeah, there we go. So they went Cindy, the Batavian commune, and they get kicked out. And what happens here is that you form the Dutch government, the Dutch East Indies, the Dutch government in exile. You get Wilhelmina ruling you. You lose the minus 50%, plus 50%. Sorry, the plus 50% industry, civilian industry to Overlord. And you get Wilhelmina as your ruler, and you get a new focus tree. The exiles arrive. So what happens here is that you can go via different paths, first ruling you, but you can start the Batavia bargain. And you can have a few focuses where you can restart the CID and start reworking the Shadow Force. You piss off the... very much. You have the army in exile, where you need to reestablish and combine the Dutch army that fled with the Dutch government to Insulindia, to the Dutch East Indies, and the army that's already there. And you have a Expertise of the Exiles, where you can rebuild a bit of economy. Now they're not happy. They have a very high unity and a very high strength, so this is going to be fun. And you get a goal. You can try and reconquer the Batavians. You are still in the Reichspakt, so I think the Germans should declare on them. What? That's not entirely right. Hello, Wilhelmina. Hello, Wilhelmina. Okay. She's in two places at once. That's interesting. Well, we still have the tree, so I don't care. It's all working, right, people? No worries about that. Oh yeah, I took the shell company here. You can get a... What did you do? I did nothing. I triggered... This was a save in which I triggered no events. And I didn't do anything. They, as you could see from when I loaded the save, they were the Batavian commune. Maybe they can flip back? I don't think so. The Germans should declare war immediately and crush them, basically. Let's just continue the focus tree here. So rush the economic tree. If the Dutch go Reichspakt, then Cindy retake the homeland when you throw the Dutch out. Yeah, that would be the way you can build up the country the most. But since you cannot control the Dutch, you would have to either switch over a lot and choose the focuses for them, or you would have to get very lucky. So the cabinet in exile, with the homeland fallen, the unusual constitutional checks on the Queen's power could not be exercised due to the lack of parliament. In this effect, this means the royal decrees are the only legal law by the government, but neither they can be blocked without a parliament. All power, no matter how the political station was laid up back at home, now rests with the Queen, who is now set to appoint the first exiled Dutch cabinet. Will she solidify her rule by creating a loyal cabinet, or will she form an ARP, her all-time favorite? So, displace the Dutch and pursue it and then switch there. Yeah, that's true. So you got to do direct rule. You can make an experience statement Colijn, or you can do a military. But oh god, Dutch rule. We're gonna go full direct control. So you can you get the only man in Dutch government there, and we will soon get an event deciding if we want to work together with the natives or work against them. And no, the thing is, Anglicano, it's two separate countries, but just ruled by it's a personal union. That's how it makes sense, right? I'm really not sure what happened there. Well, here's the declaring. So you can go three ways. You can either promise them Insuldindia once you've retaken the Netherlands. Are they a puppet? They might be. They might be puppeted by the Germans. No, because then I would see them. No, no diplomacy, but they are on fire. They're ruled by a military... I see. The military junta took them over. So what happened is that... So what can happen in this event is that the Sindhis can do a revolt, but the junta can then do another revolt. So what happens when I return? It depends on what you choose in the upcoming event after this focus. Either so either you can you'll see them, but either you can say the Insulindians, all right, we'll give you your independence once we've retaken. You can say either we'll give your part right now, or you can say no, fuck off, and that'll piss them off the most. Yeah, but we'll fix it there, Tomahawk, or you will fix it, or Dennis will. I'm mostly here for localization fixes and playing the actual countries. And previous streams is, but the Insulindians should rise up very soon, especially if I piss them off even more, which will happen after the Batavia bargain. Will the Ottomans ever have their focus redeveloped or ended? Of course, every single nation is being worked on, but the thing is, because the original devil left, we'll have to clean it up, de-memify it a bit, and just make it better. We will work on every single nation eventually, but a dev leaving is never good. So we like cut Wilhelmina in half and just stitched and just put one half here in the Dutch East Indies and the other half back in Europe. But yeah, ironically, we are still in the Reichsbank, so could I declare war? Oh boy. What's instant help? Instant. Warhammer 40k Kaiserreich. Let's just call all our allies. Okay, good luck there, guys. Just use allow diplo. I could do that too. I'm sure he'll be able to hold. I'll actually make a save because I think. Actually, I have a backup save of a. I should have actually made one before. They might win it, and then the Dutch government in exile one will be over in time. We could have also called the no one, but oh well. Isn't it beautiful? But yeah, so most of these will be pretty self-explanatory. You get the CID, where you get a renewed intelligent interaction, where you can get encryption, popularity of rat socks, because expand the Papua camps again, outlaw syndicalism, and they have the Shadow Force, which the Force dawns upon decent, the Force of Shadows. Appearing from the dark, well, we're already killing them, but anyway, we can make we can get resistance actions decisions. I'll activate this with focus autocomplete and show these off. You can get members of the resistance, get attack bonus against Deutschland, or get predator fighting. This is right now is dynamic localization. If they would be the Batavian commune, they would be the Batavian commune there. But they won't win before the this is over, so I can at least show a lot more off there. The other parts is the army in exile, where you get manpower and war support. You get army experience, get a bundling legion, where you get 3 well-trained divisions. You can conscript the inlanders for more manpower, get a bit of research bonuses, division organization, submarine, cruiser focus rule in the season. You can get the annex war goal, but I mean, you can make a get claimed state sooner anyway, but this is the AI version of it. And you can go the Terland ter Zee in de Lucht, which is a very nice TV program. At least it used to be. Bombers against the Reds. That's my kind. And you have the expertise of the Exiles, where you get good bonuses for a year. You get civilian factories, dockyards, arms factories, convoy stockpiles, synthetic oil production, which I don't think you even produce yet. Unless you make it, you get nice. That's a lot of guns. You get construction speed or conversion speed, research slot, and the war economy. Finland does not have a focus tree right now. This is just the Kaiserreich basic one. I mean, Finland is basically East Russia. So why would they need one? Why can't you just call in all of the Reichsbank as soon as Batavia spawns? Because you don't start a war with Batavia. You get exiled because it's a coup. But as you can see, you can declare war pretty easily since you have the claimed states. There we go, a nationalist leader. Ah, yeah, that's still going on, of course. You need a Finnish guy, and I know Finnish people too, but I'm pretty sure. Yes, but you instantly joined the biggest faction in the world. That's just because I just happened to join the Reichsbank in this save. Bargain of Batavia. After the first batch of exiles have arrived in Batavia, it has become clear that the situation will soon become unmanageable unless we give the East Indians a significant concession. It's clear they want independence, and while they obviously aren't ready for it yet, we don't need them to. We do need them to retake the fatherland. Some suggest they might perhaps be swayed by a promise of equal status within the kingdom. The Queen will give her speech today. Many Insulindians anxiously await what she has to say, hoping for a promise of significant improvement. So we can either say, okay, once we've retaken the fatherland, we'll give you Insulindia, but which will disable the mechanic, but it will cost you a lot of political power. As you can see, it removes the spirits. Or you can say equal status, where the unity shrinks significantly, or you just don't give in, and we can let the unity grow and fester. And it'll go to very high. So all I'll do is I'll do a bit of focus.autocomplete. And we can reestablish the CD. And I'll show off the focuses that happen together with this. Will this actually have an effect right now? The sleeping force. Give me a second here, let me check. Oh, we don't have the tree open right now. So the one is you can get, so we go from 23 factories all the way to 29. So you get 6 factories there in total. And of course you can get the army bonuses here you want, where you get 3 those guys. Let's look at those for a second. So what you get here are regulars. 3 bundling and legion regulars, which have the oh, they come with artillery. That's not bad. And support equipment too. What are they made of? They have support artillery and support recon. They have 9. They're 3x3. That's not bad. That is certainly not bad. However, we should be winning here very soon. So there also should be a revolt very soon too, because they do not like us. We don't need to actually also garrison this, since the Insulindians don't rise up here. Where's a Ryukyu focus tree? No memes, please. So yeah, the Dutch are doing very well. I mean, I don't even have to do anything. Are they even in a faction? Well, of course. Well, they do get volunteers, but what a beautiful, horrible sight, the Dutch losing. Uh-oh, well, I think that's big Sweden. Is Austria being OP again? Not really. New era, how do you declare war upon them? You start with claimed states, so you can, for about 20 political power, make a war goal. Otherwise, what you can do is you can follow the military tree all the way to the bottom, and get an annexed war goal against the former Dutch. So it depends on how you want to play it. The most powerful way to play this would be build up the via the Dutch East Indies tree. Then you can become the Dutch government in exile, build up, retake the motherland, and then arouse up the revolution so you can become Insulindia. That's the best way to build up your economy. It should leave you with about 35 factories, which you of course can build up. Since you have a lot of rubber, you'll be able to snowball a lot harder. Tino is the New World Order, which I think starts in 2017. Don't quote me on it. I only play Kaiserreich. So, well, we have the Proclamation of Insulindian Independence, but let's just go and do some political actions. Now, as you can see, we control quite a bit of land, and letting it day. Well, so yeah, about that battle here. I don't think you'll be doing much. Yep, zeker klaar voor actie. Oh, how I love the Dutch language. Have you played the normal colonial version of Insulindia? Yeah, I did. I have played every single version here. This is a giant mess to actually build up a bit. But we should be able to push back pretty easily. And you can go down there and fight. Thanks for watching. Yeah. This will all end up on YouTube. After the stream is done, I'll upload it immediately. What do you think of the Insulindian folk tree? Do you have any suggestions or something you want to add behind? Well, it's always a bit difficult to make a focus tree for a nation like that. I think it's pretty well balanced right now. You have a military part for once you've just started. Oh, you want to join my war? Oh, how nice of you. So I think it's pretty fun to play right now, and there's a lot of content here, but it depends on which path you kind of play / force. But I think right now it's in a good place. You can always add more political options and stuff like that. But I think Tomahawk did a very good job. Yeah, let's just keep our capital and defend it. Why not, right? You can actually help attack, you know. But yeah, if you build up properly, like we have 26 divisions, that makes it pretty easy to win. We don't occupy the state just yet. Is South America out there right now? No, this is not on this branch. This branch currently has not so much new content, since we always work on branches when we just have new stuff. So that's there's nothing here right now. I mean, I don't want to show off stuff that isn't done yet, but it's progressing nicely. The Black Winds has done great. Yes, Middle Africa blew up, and we can see the best nation in the whole game. The only one that was made by me. Oh, we have a new port. Market liberal? Why are you not a puppet of the king? Oh, you're the Kingdom of France. I see. You're a puppet, occupied puppet of the Kingdom of France. That's why. War with the Socialist Commonwealth. Oh boy. I think Canada did it. Oops. But yeah. Best focus tree in the game. There's none like it. Most of your aviation fixed by buying from the Japanese. Yeah, you can buy planes from the Japanese, for example. You guys can crush these units, you know. What on earth? What do you mean, what on earth? That was Middle Africa blowing up, and because normally you get puppeted by the French Republic, but right now they're the Kingdom of France. There we go, we won. Who owns Canada? 1 second. Canada declared war upon the Sindhis and lost. So it's ruled by Julian Hamilton, and it lost against the CSA, so it's a puppet of the CSA. And because of that, the whole faction collapsed. So, look who is not in the faction. There we go. We won the war. And we have a lot of these, but that's because I rushed it. So, these lands should fall pretty soon. Think they will fall very soon. Well, the thing is, North America will be reworked, so everything you see here will not be in the next build. Why are these not being occupied by the Germans? It's a bit weird. Ah well. Groningen doesn't deserve to survive. But yeah, should be almost done. These lands are holding pretty well. I mean, they hold very little and the war is almost over. But in the end, these 3 focus trees, mate, have a lot of fun. I of course rushed through them. You can play a lot longer as the Dutch East Indies. It will be the next build, but it will be reworked in the near future. Okay. So what I've shown off is the Dutch East Indies, but you can prolong playing as them a lot more by holding out on the revolution, working down the path, which reduces the unity. So you can do a lot more of that focus tree, and then either hope the Batavian Commune happens and play as a Dutch government in exile, or you can go and play as Insuldindia, either with cheese or without, and make it a lot more difficult. It's a nice challenge if you like playing the underdog. I'm very surprised why these aren't being colored properly. Well, let's take a swim, guys. Why can I not draw an offensive line? That's offensive. It's occupied by you. It doesn't say so. And the front line is still drawn like this. That's a bit weird. It's a holy 4-buck. Everything is a holy 4-buck. See, now it's becoming German for all of a sudden. There we go, that makes a lot more sense. Where these should be taking a swim. Yeah, there they are. It's interesting here. Oh, of course, it's a different part there. Ah, well, you should arrive within a small amount of time. And then we can kill this pathetic junta that took over our glorious... This is very weird, but they still control Amsterdam. How far are they towards capitulation? The game loves freezing up. Ah, the Ottoman War there ended with them losing once again. But yeah, I'm not sure when 0.7 will release, but as soon as it does, you'll be able to play with these nations yourself. They are really interesting, and I can implore you to take them for a spin. And we'll have a very much fleshed out Netherlands. Together with the Dutch update that is already in the current build. So if my when can I show off how the world is faring right now? Cindy's, market liberals, more Cindy's, even more Cindy's. very splintered Africa. I hope someone continues to work on the Ottoman. They work for a place. There was always being work done on any nation. But when it's done, I can hardly say. The weird aspect ratio is because I have a 16. Sorry, I have a 19 by 10 monitor. It's a bit of an older one since I'm not very. I'm a student. I don't have money for a new monitor. So it's 1680 by 1050 resolution. I usually put it down to 1400 by 900 so I can play in 16 by 9 and have it not have the black bar, but I forgot. And I realized until too late. Oh, nice, we have landed. There we go. Make Papa proud. Go kill some Dutch. Oh, wait. And that should be the end of the military junta. Ha! Cannons do nothing against our mighty Indonesian rifles. I would love to have some bikes, though. Those are the proper way to fight a war. There we go. It ends with a bang. And we have retaken the Netherlands, the fate of the Netherlands. Wait, what? This should not fire, actually. This more should be that I can... I should switch to the Netherlands right now. There should be an event for that, I think. Because this decision here is something we also did. There's no more events, but there will be decisions now for annexations. I, together with Rylock, converted these all. I wrote the script to automatically convert all the on-actions to decisions, and Rylock cleaned them up and checked them. Now we can declare independence. The Insulindians would have risen up, appeared, if I would have chosen the one where if you reconquered the homeland, they can pop out, and then you can tag switch via console to there. We'll have to edit more Kaiserreich files for my submod. The editing is really easy. You would put the triggers you normally have in a new decision, and you just trigger the. If you click this button, you will still get the event. Fate of the Netherlands. But you have to take just as usual. But if you take the event, you can liberate it. You can liberate but expand Flanders. Oh, you can give it to Limburg, or you can keep occupying it. Wait, so you can you can liberate the Netherlands and give them to Duitsland. Wait, I'm still own it? Okay, never mind. But the flag should. I think a few checks are missing, but we'll take a look at that later. Cause we. So right there is. Wait, so we have Duitsland as a core, as a puppet. But where are they? Because this is all owned by me. Yeah. Work in progress, guys. We'll take a look at this later. Anyway, the decision message. Yeah, there's a missing check in the decision, and there's a bit of you can always fix that, Tomahawk. It's not this isn't released yet, and I do not know when 0.7 will be released. But I hope you guys enjoyed this preview with me showing off 3 new focus trees of the Dutch East Indies, Dutch government in exile, and Insulindia itself. and hope you will take it for a spin once it actually releases. I will never give territory to Flanders. In fact... what? This is a better world. A way better world. The Wallonians, they can keep. That's garbage. Why do you not allow for annexation subjugation of puppets? Because it's it works better this way. That's just a thing Kaiserreich does. Anyway, cheers for watching. I hope you enjoyed the preview. I am not sure when I'll do the next one, but if everything goes right, South America should be on the table soon enough. Take it for a spin when it releases. No idea when. And have a good day. Yeah.